Welcome, Kamau. Thank you so much for being here. How are you? How are things in Oakland?
Yeah. We're moving along. We're dealing with the things and challenges and navigating democracy.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it's like, it's been a pretty quiet year for you, really. I mean, if you think about it, you really haven't been up to much. It's been a chill year. It's really not much going on, right, in the world today?
Just like I predicted it on January 1st. This is exactly how I scripted the year to go out. Sorry, everybody. This was all on me. There will be times where I'll have like a joke in my head that I know is a joke that's really a stand-up joke, but I'll work it into the podcast, or like, or sort of like, you try it out. Even on like an appearance like here with you, I might have something, that reminds me of this joke that I thought of, and I might say it to you, and if you laugh, I'll go, okay, keep that joke. You know what I mean? So it's all just sort of like grist for the mill. And I sort of think about, like, I remember as a kid really noticing that Bob Marley only sung about 3 things. Like it was like love, the revolution, and marijuana. And I was like, but that was enough. Like it was right. And so I felt like with me, I feel the same way. Like I'm only talking about a handful of things, but if you keep investigating them, you'll find new ways to talk about them. And I think on some level, like it does mean that like you have to have a mix of like, these are the jokes that I know work, that I'm doing now that I know work. But for me, if I'm not working on new stuff, then it's not really that much fun. Like there's always got to be something where it's like, here's a new thing that I just came up with and I don't know if I should say, but here we go. Like you'll do like 55 minutes for that 5 minutes of the hour that's like new stuff that you just wrote that morning, So for me, the discovery is a big part of why I do what I do. When I am on stage, no matter where people have come to see me from, I know a part of it is they know I comment about what's going on in the world. So I remember I did a show in Chicago one time, and while the show was going on, the verdict came out about George Zimmerman, like in the middle of the show. And this was like early days of cell phone notifications. So like there was a certain percentage of people whose phones went off, but not everybody's phone did. And my phone went off. And I sort of knew that like for the people in this room right now who know what happened with George Zimmerman, they're going to expect me to say something. And if I don't say something, then I look like I was afraid to say something, or that I didn't know, which is also not what I want to be. So it became my job to say something. And I talked about it and said, look, we're going to talk about this for a few minutes. Then at some point I'm going to awkwardly start doing jokes again, and we'll get back. and that's what I did. And it was good. And people appreciated the fact that I had addressed it. So I understand. I have a pretty good understanding of how people see me. I don't think it is easier to be a comedian now, especially in 2020. One, the pace of the news, especially a comedian who's trying to engage with the news. I think if you're a comedian who's, again, just sort of wanting to make people laugh, maybe I don't know. I know a lot of, even like, I think like Brian Regan, who's the most joke comic that exists, apparently has to talk about COVID a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, because it would be weird not to. He says he moves on quickly, but like I read an article where even the guy who just wants to tell jokes, has to go, hey man, let's talk about, he has to open on COVID. So I think that's a lot more 2020. So in that sense, it's probably not even easier for him to be
what's comedian. The deal with
yeah. So, but I'd say that like not only the pace of the news, but the type of news we're getting in 2020 is so like bad screenwriting in a way. Like it's just like if a screenwriter wrote it, they'd be like, this is not, it's written like a B movie. It's not written like a really good film. It's not a film, it's a flick. It's a drive-in movie, which is where we will be seeing all movies for the rest of time. And also, we live in a time where due to social media, everybody's funnier than they used to be because everybody's sort of like actively trying to write jokes. So comedians have to be funnier than your uncle who sends you a meme from Reddit. You know what I mean? Like where it used to be, your uncle didn't have access to funny memes, but now everybody's uncle, mom, grandma, if they're online, is actively like out there trying to tweet and social media jokes. And so the bar of what is funny is a lot higher now. The whole John Coltrane concept that I like a lot, learn your scales, forget your scales. Like I think that's applies so much to all of this, is that you want to know what the rules of the game are, what you're here to do. But if you're always sort of holding on to those things, then the joy, the juice, the fun of why you got into this is gone.
My friend, thank you so very much for doing this today. This was truly a pleasure for me to get to talk about comedy and all these wonderful things. Thank you. W. Kamau Bell, everybody.